Hey everyone, glad to be back at Ahmedabad. केम छो मजामा? उतना ही आता है गुजराती. Who am I? So, I'm a GD for Kotlin and Android. I've been in industry for about 14 years now, over 14 years. I have worked with JioCinema, JioHotstar, Byju's, Paytm, Gojek, Misho. I'm working with TouchLab. So yeah, if you live in India, South Asia, you have definitely used one of the products I worked on. I wrote books. I mentor Google for startups, and that's all about me. Last I was here in 2018, and I got that. Since then, I talked about coroutines in 2018, and since then I became a GD, changed 4 companies, and started Mobile Studio. This is my consulting. So if you have an app that is facing any scaling issues, or if you need expert help on any mobile app, any technology, Android, iOS, Flutter, reach out. Would be happy to work with you. Okay, now back to the talk. Agents in Kotlin. We'll use Kotlin Multiplatform to share codebase and build agents on mobile, right? These are the things we'll cover. Why, like Gemini API, Gemini Nano, Gemma models, KMP, Koog, and yeah. This talk has 3 sections. One is intro to KMP, and another one is intro to AI, Gemini and Gemini Nano. We'll pace through first 2 parts because I want to focus on the third part, that is Koog. Okay, now with that, let's start. What's KMP? So KMP is a technology by JetBrains, the same company that brought in Kotlin language. They created KMP as well, Kotlin Multiplatform. Some people refer to it as KMM, Kotlin Multiplatform Mobile, which is now deprecated name. It supports Android, iOS, web, desktop, server, everything. Kotlin can work on any platform, right? And difference with other cross-platform, for example, Flutter, React Native, is that those platforms are all or nothing. You either share your entire code base or you don't share at all. With KMP, you can decide how much you want to share. If you only want to share, say, analytics part across Android and iOS in order to maintain conciseness, right? So you can do that. If you want to build an entire app with Kotlin Multiplatform, you can do that with Compose Multiplatform. And KMP is interoperable, so yeah, you can call JavaScript functions from Kotlin Multiplatform, vice versa. Same with Java and Android, and same with iOS, Swift, and Objective-C, right? So yeah, I already said they took Kotlin and made Kotlin Multiplatform. Kotlin already used to run on multiple platforms, Android, iOS, desktop. They just made a tool that can help you share same Kotlin code with multiple platforms. This is the structure. There is common part which code is shared across all the platforms, and then you can run or write native code. This is the detailed structure. Don't get like don't fear it. जानने का बात नहीं है. सेम JVM वाला कोड एंड्रॉयड एंड सर्वर में शेयर हो सकता है, नेटिव वाला कोड ये सब में शेयर हो सकता है. एंड and in JioCinema we used to use this structure a lot because we had Android, iOS, web, TV, and etc. Right. So yeah. This is the expect actual. Even if you want to have a function work differently across platforms, you can do that here. An example is this UUID generation. So in JS I am using UUID v4. In iOS I am using NSUID, and in JVM or Android I am using JVM UUID. Right. Now that's all about KMP that I am going to talk about. Now AI. What is AI? Any answers? It's written here. लिखा है भाई, पढ़ के बोल दो. So, see, traditional programming, how it works is that there is an input and there is an output. Sahi? Correct? In machine learning, what happens? We first pass input and output, both. That helps the model to train, learn. Okay, ये input आए तो ये output देना है हमें. So, after that, model is prepared. Now, we give them an input. It predicts, based on its training, what the output can be. That's what machine learning at its core is. What's Gemini? It's just neural network, machine learning, same, scaled to billions of parameters. So it's trained over and over on multiple or billions of data, right? If you want to read the text, you can. I will share the slide link later. You can read the text. So what Gemini brings, it brings multimodality. It can understand image, video. It can create image, video, text, and it can be hyper personalized. It can be intelligent. It can be context aware, and it can run on device and on mobile apps as well. Now there is a video. I hope it plays. So I was building a file management app, right? That can, for example, help me find rent receipts, because who wants to go to file and then search all that, right? So you can see it was able to find all the rent receipt that was stored. Some of it was wrong, and for example, this code screenshot that was wrong, it didn't do correctly, but then I scrolled up and the first entry was correct. It was a rent receipt, right? So yeah, that's now, as I said, AI can be implemented in multiple ways. One of them is using Gemini API. Again, Gemini by Google is multimodal, and it's optimized for Android, iOS, and web, and it's developer friendly. So Gemini API, you can either directly call Gemini API, but I am using a tool or library developed by another GD, Shreyas Patil, and we'll talk about MediaPipe and Gemini Nano as well. So yeah, this is the GitHub. You can follow it. This is the tool I'm using, and this is the all the code you need, right? You just create a generative AI model. You pass the model name, which model you want to use. I have used 2.5 Flash. You can use 2.5 Pro or whatever you want. You pass the API key, you pass the config, and you are done. These are the latest models that are available. You can use previous models as well. I think 3.0 is the latest they are launching. So yeah, this is the latest model when I prepared the slides. Right, now offline, how to do it on device. You download a task file. What is a task file? It's a Gemma model. So Gemma model, generally the ML models comes with .tf-lite extension, right? Task file contains .tf-lite and additional files to support running a LLM model on low power device like your mobile. Your mobile is not similar to AWS cloud, right? Or not even your laptop. It has limited amount of capacity. So .task file is a file that contains TF-lite and required files to run it on mobile. You store it in an internal app directory, and then you run MediaPipe interference. This is the model I have used, Gemma 3.1b. Note the size, it's over 500 MB, not KB. I think 554 KB. This is how you, so for that size, you can't package that model with your app, because then your app size will be, say, 1 GB. No one will download your app. So you have to pass it in some different manner. I chose to download it. So you download the file and then you instantiate your LLM interference library like this. And this is all the code you need. After that, you can just use generation. Now, there are a few things that I used, right? I used top K, I use max tokens. What are those? So top K filters out. Anyone can answer it. If you answer, you can get cap. Anyone can answer what is top K? I already changed the slide, so you might have glanced. Okay. It filters out the tokens for output, so it reduces the randomness. If you reduce the top K value, it reduces the randomness. If you increase it, randomness will increase, right? And max token is that it limits the maximum output, so you don't spend your tokens endlessly, right? Now Gemini Nano, I talked about Gemma offline, but downloading a model by yourself, uploading it somewhere in a server, it's a huge task. There are a lot of points of failures. So what Gemini Nano does is that it shares same model across multiple apps. Google itself uses it, so there's high chances it will be already downloaded. It has again same multimodality, and you can just add this dependency, and then this is the config. It has two parts of config. One is generation config with same top K and same max output tokens, and another one is download config that we'll talk about. So this is the generation config, same as we talked about. This is the download config, and it just lets you know when the download is done, or if the download is failed, you can add that callback as well. And that's it. Now Koog. Koog is a tool which lets you build an AI agent. Now Harsh just had a session on AI agent. Can anyone tell me what an AI agent is? Raise your hand if you are in Harsh's session. Raise your hand if you understood what is AI agent. Okay, please explain.
AI agent, it is basically like interface that use LLM models to complete your queries, complete your tasks. So AI agent is basically like we integrate LLMs, then give them tasks, and they use particular tool
Yes.
to complete it.
Close, not exactly. Will come. Ek hat de do. Cap. Sorry. So AI agents works with LLM. That part is correct. It execute tasks, right? That part is also correct, but it's not entirely. We'll come to that. So Koog supports these all LLM providers. Koog is a AI agent tool that or framework that lets you build AI agent. For that, you need to use a LLM provider, right? So these are the LLM providers that are supported by Koog, almost all of them. And in server side, you can use Olama to use your custom models as well, offline models as well, in server side. In Android iOS, that's not supported yet because Olama doesn't support Android iOS natively. You can hack it, but it's a complicated process. So yeah, in server side, you can use it with ktor or Spring, whichever framework you choose. And this is very simplistic Koog code. Anyone can explain what I am doing here? Yes. Someone raised hand there? Yeah. Yeah. Please get him a mic.
Hello. Yeah, basically we are trying to integrate with AI in our mobile application. Or
That's correct, but what this code is doing?
I'm not familiar about that code, but basically it's doing a third-party API integration, SDK integration kind of thing.
Points for trying. एक cap दे दो. So what it is doing is that it's creating a AI executor with Gemini. First line, prompt executor, simple Google AI executor. Second line, I am telling which model to use. Same we did with Gemini API. use Gemini 2.5 Flash. Then I'm passing a system prompt. What is system prompt? Yes.
System prompt is like we give the instructions to what not to do. Like if I am asking a cake related question in any app, so it has not given an other answer regarding to that.
Okay. Cap. So system prompt is basically guidelines, you can say. When you came to this event, you were given guidelines, right? What to do, what not to do. Attend the events, interact with the speakers, interact with each other. Don't harm each other, right? Don't attack each other, don't abuse each other. These are the guidelines. So same goes with system prompt. As Harsh said in his session, when you are talking about AI, you have to think in human perspective, right? How would you do it in a human way? So in your job, when you join your first job, you are given a guideline, right? That okay, you work on this project, this is your task, and you have to complete it, right? So that's system prompt. And then whatever user prompt is, that's like okay, this is you have your task list, and then you are given okay, do this, do that separately, right? So yeah. And the code in detail, again focused. Now who all thinks this is over? We are done with Koog. Raise your hand if you think we are done. No one? Okay, yeah. We are not done. As I said, Koog is a framework for building AI agents. And AI agent is not only about system prompt and LLM. AI agent is much more. This is what a AI agent is. Right, Harsh talked about this. So there is system prompt, there is LLM. You can use multiple LLM in an AI agent, and then there is user input, but there are tools as well. So in order for your agent to do something, it has to search the way. It might have to search the web or retrieve your database, right? RAG. What is RAG? Can anyone tell? Okay. Retrieval augmented generation. So that means it reduces hallucination. So for example, you have a AI agent software in your HR, let's say. You ask, what is my leave policy? And it randomly things like what is okay, you can take 10 leaves in a week. They are not 10 days in a week. How can you take 10 leaves in a week, right? So it has to refer the particular leave policy for your organization before answering you. How does it refer? Normal LLM models do it with RAG. With AI agents, we call it tool. RAG uses vector database. Tools doesn't need to use vector database. It can refer simple, simplistic documents or database, regular database, right? It doesn't need to vectorize and tokenize the data before. That we used to do with RAGs. If you are exposing these tools to outside, we call them MCP. So, yeah. There is a blog link to the bottom of it. If you can read, good. If you can't read, it's linked at the end of the slide as well. It talks in detail about AI agents. So, as I explained, agent or LLM is the brain. Tools are the hands and eyes. You are listening to me, you are looking at the presentation. That's how your brain understands or tries to understand it, right? If you don't have eye, if you don't have ears, if you don't have hands, your brain can't do anything by itself, right? Same, LLMs are dumb actually. These tools help them make a little intelligent. These are the pre-built tools that are available with Koog. again, if you want to say hi to user, there is a tool for that. Edit file tool, read file tool, all those tools are there. And this is, if you want to say, like, what I wanted to do is create a database and give access to that database, right? So that's the tool I built, right? You extend something called tool set and then annotate each function with at the tool and LLM description. Who can tell what is LLM description is? What does this annotation at that LLM description do? Yes.
પર્ટિક્યુલર ફંક્શનના રિલેટેડ આપણે એને ઉપર કમેન્ટ આપીએ છીએ.
So correct. It, see, LLM, I can name my function XYZ, right? Now how will LLM understand what this function do? So that LLM description helps the LLM understand what the function is supposed to do, right? So we put the meaningful description of the function. We used to do in documentation, right? Who all did documentation? Yeah, I can see few hands. Good. We should all do documentation of the code we write. So now we pass the documentation in an annotation called LLM description, so that LLM can understand what this function is supposed to do. And each function is called a tool. That's it. And then we create a list of tools and then pass it to tool registry. And yeah, another line got added after LLM model. I am saying, okay, this is your tool registry. Now who all thinks this is it? We are done with tools. Now what's next? When ChatGPT first launched, right, it didn't have memory. You say, hi, I am Rivu Chakraborty, and then you ask again, who am I? It will say this. Wait a minute, who are you? It forgot, right? Similarly, like most of you already forgot Harsh's session. He talked about those, right? So same thing. Now memory can be two types. One is runtime memory, just like any application, and one is permanent memory, right? So similarly to AI agent, you can pass two types of memory. You can pass permanent memory or short long-term memory that it will write in a file, or you can pass short-term memory. Now who all uses Claude? Raise your hand if you use Claude. Good. Who all have noticed a file called claude.md? Yes, that's your long-term memory. So Claude saves whatever it thinks is important in long-term memory. But in your session, it creates a lot of short-term memory as well, right? That it saves in a runtime memory, not in the file. So why? Because in a session, there is a limit to what it can remember. It can't remember endlessly. Why? Can anyone answer why? Why can't it remember everything on runtime? So how it works is that every time your query is sent to the LLM, memory is also sent to the LLM. So the more memory you have, the more tokens you are using. What will happen? Cost. Both operational cost as well as money, right? So you will keep increasing those by a lot. In order to avoid that, you separate short-term memory and long-term memory. It will initially refer to short-term memory. If it can't find something and it needs something, then it will refer to long-term memory. That's why Claude, you have to tell it that, okay, refer claude.md for this particular thing, because it's not in their short-term memory. And there are different ways you can implement it. It's called fact, single fact, multiple fact, and concept. So basically, concept is a category for fact, and then there is subject. So yeah, this is how you install memory, and this is how you save a fact, right? So a fact has data, what user said, what the agent said or LLM said, and then subject, it can be user, it can be machine, whatever, and then memory scope, what is the scope of the memory, right? Now, strategy. What is strategy? Yes.
Strategy means like what we perform in which basis. For example, we are directly execute on the database. Instead of that, we can check in the case what exactly we have, or we can return that easily, or
yeah.
it will save time and cost both.
So, user asked, in my example, the app I am building, that actually is a file manager, a little customized, as I said. So if I ask it to find rent receipt, what it should do, how should it find it? So that's the strategy. If you want to have a custom strategy, it's not always required, but it's better if you have one. So again, Harsh talked about it. There is verification and everything. So this is a simplistic strategy. You call the LLM, and if LLM wants to execute a tool, you execute a tool. If LLM wants to just finish, you finish. And if LLM wants to see the tool result, or if tool result has come, you convert it and send it back to LLM or finish it however you want. So this is how you create a strategy in Koog. A little detailed. So if you want to convert tool result to content, string, that's how you do it. And the edge is the thing that connects a strategy. So you can create subgraph, or you can create a node, right? And edge connects all those nodes and subgraphs together. It should always start with node start, it should always finish with node finish, right? So that's your graph, and yeah, that's it. Cocoa Pod for iOS is a little bit difficult with KMP for MediaPi, because Cocoa Pods is deprecated, and they are bringing support for SPM, but it's still work in progress. And yeah, Koog, it might feel overwhelming when you start, but once you get into the concept of AI agents, it's very easy to understand. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, I can take now, or slide is published there, and these are a few resources you can refer to. Take picture of these. So yeah, any questions? We have time? Yeah. Any questions I can take now, or you can ask me later. Yes.
My question is that, for example, I am create application from scratch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what thing I need to take care from the beginning?
You are creating an agent from the start.
No, I am create basic application like with the AI agents. So what things I need to take care from being?
So first you need to decide that do you need on-device AI agent, or
Yes.
do you need to execute it on server? If you are executing it on server, then it's simple API call.
Yes, exactly.
Right. If you are doing on-device, for example, the example I gave, right? Creating a file manager, you can't share data to API, your API, right? That will be a breach of privacy. In those cases, you can run on-device model, and then you can use Koog, or even Google ADK supports on-device a little bit. Right? It supports JVM, and Android is nothing but JVM itself, right? A sub part of JVM. So you can run it on. You can use Google ADK or Koog. Koog works better with Kotlin, and you can share code with Android and iOS, so you can use that.
Or any offline is available?
I talked about Gemma and MediaPipe. You can run those models offline.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, he asked how to secure Gemini API key
Without server, because
without server. Yeah. So what I did is that I created a env file, and then I created build config. So what build config will do, when you build the app, it will create a constant and it will take the API key from your env file. So if someone has access to a repository, for example, you are creating an open source repository, they will not be able to access the API key. What it doesn't protect against is decryption of app. For that, you can use ProGuard and DexGuard. Use that efficiently and you will be able to hide the value.
So they are not showing even someone reverse engineering our application.
For that, you have to use DexGuard and ProGuard.
Yes. Thank you.
But everything is reverse engineerable. Everything can be hacked. So, yeah, nothing is foolproof. Yeah. Here, there.
So, example, you show that you created a file manager. So, can I just know how did you input those screenshots or like files? How did you fit into your?
So, I can share the code.
No, just give us the very.
No, I will explain.
Okay.
So, give me a moment. 5 plus. So this is the classifier that I build, right? So it's again an agent, and I am using Android file permission. I have specifically declared this app as a file manager. So I have the permission, and when you grant the permission, it will look through. Only then the application can run, right? And I have OCR and everything. So let me show you how it's done. And yeah, this is how I am running a OCR on file to understand, and everything is on device. Nothing is going to the API. So it's doing OCR and it's reading the data and then saving it in a database. And then I am searching the database with the database toolset with Koog agent. So does that? Which? I have used Gemini 2.5 Flash, as I mentioned somewhere.
On device Gemini 2.5 Flash.
No, so with Koog, it runs, it calls Gemini API on Android, but if you are building it on server, it runs, it can run on the on your server only with Olama. But most of the OCR is done without Gemini Koog, right? OCR is done with ML kit that runs on device. Any more questions? So I will make this repository open source. It's not yet finished. Some part are working, some part are not yet working. Once it is done, I will make it open source. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to me. I will be here throughout today. Thank you.